Hello there. My name is Quentin Russell, and I am the Content Marketing Specialist here at Doc365. And today I'm proud to present the second part of our SharePoint Basic series, Understanding Wiki Sites. So, as I'm sure you are aware, Wikipedia is a pretty good resource. Some would say that it's possibly the largest receptacle for information on the internet, period. It's maintained by thousands of people all across the world, and it contains a massive breadth of information that you're not really going to be able to find anywhere else. In addition to that, I'm sure you're aware that, tons of people spend a large amount of time categorizing and cataloging information for their niche fandoms and shows on wiki sites. I don't know if you've seen anything for like Fandom Wiki or anything. A big prominent example of that is like if you're a comic book fan, any of the Marvel or DC wikis. Generally, you can find information about a character, uh, information about how they've changed throughout their lives and everything, and then dates back to initial issues. Before I continue, I'd like to ask everyone to mute their mics so that everyone have a good webinar experience. Again, there will be a period at the end where you are free to unmute yourself to ask questions for a question and answer session. So back to what I was saying. So the thing is that that's a lot of useless information when it's, done for free and it's done on, like a TV show or something. However, what if you were able to apply all of that centralized knowledge store that's detailed and contains all the information related to your business in one place? Again, I'd like to ask that everyone mute themselves. There will be a question and answer session at the end. Thank you very much. So again, like I was saying, imagine that you can really, have all of that in one place so that everything's good to go. Well, the thing is, with SharePoint Online, you can have that. 1 second. Yeah, can we just make sure that everyone muted? 1 second. I can just go in here and can I mute? No, but yeah. So anyway, like I was saying, with SharePoint Online, you can actually have access to that information. It's pretty easy to build a wiki site within SharePoint. Doesn't take a lot of time, but it can have a lot of benefits for your company. So before we begin, I'm going to run us through a quick agenda of what's going on today. So we're going to, brief introduction. What are wiki sites? Reasons you should be using wiki sites. How to build a wiki site online. There we'll be doing a practical demonstration where I'll show you how to build just a really basic bare bones one to get you started. After that, I'll be talking about different tips you can use to build your SharePoint wiki sites. So these are, range from everything from categorization to how you should structure your information and the pages of the site. And then at the end, we'll be doing a question and answer session. So I ask that everyone keep themselves muted until the end. That way everyone can have a smooth webinar experience. If I'm unable to answer any of the questions on the spot during the question and answer session, I will make sure to research those answers and send those to everyone with the webinar follow-up email I'll be sending out later today, where you'll be able to gain access to a recording of today's webinar that you can access at a later date for free. So before I continue, I'd really quick like to take a quick second to talk about Doc365, who we are. So we're a company located in Jacksonville, Florida. We have over 17 years of experience working to deliver exceptional productivity solutions. We have experience working with a wide range of companies in different industries to implement a wide array of SharePoint productivity tools. These include project management systems. Our primary forte is intranet portals, but we also do contract management, vendor management, project management, any sort of management you can think of. We probably have a solution for you. And if we don't have one pre-made, we'll be able to build one out for you. And also, in addition to this, everything we do is fully customized for your needs. So as opposed to other systems where you buy it, then you implement it, and you really can't do anything about it. We take several weeks. We learn what you need. We build everything out, and we deploy it and fully train your staff in how to use it. And then we provide unlimited support for everything that we offer. So our mission, our vision is to break down silos and get stronger employee engagement across your organization. What this means is that, as you're probably aware, employee engagement has gone down over the last several decades. The last Gallup poll I saw showed that it was at about 33% of employees are actively engaged at work. And that really depends on the organization. Some organizations have more, some organizations have less, but really trying to find ways to increase that engagement, something that can be especially hard while everyone is social distancing and working from home, can be really important to your business's overall success. So we really want to make sure that everyone can have access to tools and resources that they can use to be the best company they can be. So with that out of the way, what are SharePoint wiki sites? Well, a wiki is a site that's designed for people to capture, organize, and share large amounts of information in an easily digestible manner. So in a wiki, users can add new pages, edit existing ones, and remove older articles that have become outdated. It's basically a collaborative effort to store all of your company's information for later consumption. So essentially, if you have, HR policies, specific documents related to a project, if you have templates that you need people to be using, you can store all of that in one place, and it's really easy for them to access. So, kind of selling the point, why should you use SharePoint wiki sites? Well, first of all, it's easy access to important information. You're able to navigate through everything, find what you're looking for. If you've organized your site well enough, people can just scroll through, find what they're looking for, read the information, use the document, whatever. Content's easily organized. SharePoint is probably the most powerful document management, file management, information management system on the planet. So using SharePoint to build that out and using all of the capabilities that SharePoint has to offer, you're not going to get a higher level of organization anywhere else. You can also you also have access to all of your documented processes. So they're all placed within one place, to beat a dead horse on that. And so say that you have a specific process for procurement. You can have those documents stored within that wiki site. So you can say, okay, so this is how we do procurement for X thing. This is how we do procurement for Y thing. And you can sort through all of that and see, okay, when was the last time this was updated? Okay, maybe we need to update this. It tells you everything you need to know about the document, and it tells you everything you need to know so that people can access it. Comprehensive searching. That's a really big one. SharePoint, again, the largest, most powerful document management system on the planet. By using metadata and tagging, SharePoint is able to pick out what you're looking for. So for example, if you're looking for how to, what are the policies for updating HR policies? You just search in update HR policies, and SharePoint's probably going to be able to find the exact document you're looking for. We'll talk about how you can really optimize that and make and really tool that to fit your wiki later on in the webinar. In addition to that, there's power in collaboration. So the thing is that, not everyone remembers everything at all times. So if one person is responsible for building out the wiki, if one person is responsible for maintaining it, they're going to be overloaded, they're going to miss things. However, if everyone within a department is responsible for maintaining, updating, and editing the department's wiki, it's going to be a lot more comprehensive. There's going to be more information available because it's going to be coming from more sources. So someone might remember something, someone might have a better way to do something, and it really makes sure that everyone is benefiting from the experience of everyone within the department, because that's really what you want. You want that collaboration. You want people to be working together. You want them to come together to enrich the department, the organization, your company as a whole. In addition to that, SharePoint wiki sites are very easy to maintain. While there are issues with, you know, someone makes a bad move, someone edits the wrong document, someone accidentally deletes something, it's pretty easy to go back in, fix it, find what you're looking for. It's very hard to actually completely delete something from a SharePoint site. It takes a lot of steps, and if someone makes a mistake, they're not. It's going to be pretty easy for you to find it and restore it. In addition to that, you get access to internal linking for context. So what that means is that you can add hyperlinks to different documents to link things out. Now, I don't know if you how much time you guys have spent on Wikipedia, but I know for a fact when I was younger, what I'd do is I'd go to one page, you know, see a blue link that led me somewhere else, click on that, go to a different page, and, you know, 1 second I'm reading about a certain actor, and then a couple hours later, I'm reading about climate change, or I'm reading about the New England Patriots. You know, it allows you to add that context, and the thing is that throughout that entire journey, it made sense, and you can have that set up with a SharePoint wiki site. And then finally, you gain access to version control. Version control is much like I was saying with how SharePoint is easy to maintain. So what you can do is you can see who's edited the document, what they've done to it, how much time they've spent on it, who was the last person to edit it, and if there's any changes that are wrong that need to be fixed, roll back. You can pretty easily just go back into the document history, select the date and time that you want to roll it back to, and you're good to go. So yeah, basically, why should you use a SharePoint wiki site? Well, it's easy, it's powerful, and you can't really, why wouldn't you? So with that said, probably one of the biggest barriers is, you know, building one. Well, I'm going to show you how to do it. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to share a new screen. We're going to go with, so let me exit out of the PowerPoint to new share, screen 2. All right, so here we are. This is a basic doc intranet out of the package. Woohoo! Look how pretty it is. Really, it is. Fun fact: if you want to use doc intranet, and if you like the way this looks, you probably actually get this in your colors. If you potentially want to work with with Doc 365 to get doc intranet for yourself, all you have to do is sign up for a free demo. It's just 30 minutes. We'd love to have a conversation with you about this. But we'll talk about that more at the end of the webinar. So real quick, what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at a more advanced wiki than what we're going to be building today. So immediately right here, okay, so Mullen Coughlin, you have that branding right there. So immediately you see, okay, so these are Angular teams, you probably don't need drive state. These are important documents, most recent documents. You can really organize that how you want. So you can say, okay, so this is all of the documents for AngularJS. This is everything for the corporate intranet, Microsoft SharePoint, Office 365, React, all the things about SharePoint. And now, sometimes you'll see that certain documents are appearing multiple times. Well, it's because they've been tagged with specific things. And it's just how that's been structured. How Doc Intranet's wiki gets structured really depends on what you're doing and what you want. We'd have a conversation with you about that. However, that's not what we're really here to talk about right now. So really quick. All right, so first thing we're going to want to do is we're going to want to build a basic team site. Just real quick, we're going to call this Team Wiki. Well, that's Willow. That won't make sense. All right, so already exists. We'll call this Team Wiki Bravo. So right there, that's how it's going to look. It's good to go. You can add certain people to the site. That do be how it is. 1 second. I am so sorry about that. So finished, site wiki's ready to go. All right, so first thing we're going to want to do is, as this loads and everything, we're going to want to go to, click on the gear icon up here. This is going, whenever you're doing anything in SharePoint, that's going to be the first thing you want to do. Well, not the first thing, but it's generally the first thing. So go to Site Contents. Now we're going to want to go to the Site Pages Library. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to do a little setup. we're going to build out metadata for our wiki. So what metadata is that's essentially how SharePoint categorizes, tags, catalogs all of your information within SharePoint. Every document has metadata. So right now, the metadata that's applied to the documents is, okay, so you have the home page. So click to that, takes you to the home page. Woohoo, great to go. But you'll see, so this is metadata. So this is the last person who modified it. This is when it was modified. This is when it was created. So everything is good to go. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to add new metadata. So this is how the information is organized and sorted within the site pages library. So we're going to do choice because that allows you to really customize what you're doing. We're going to call this department because we're not making a specific wiki for a document for a department. We're making a wiki for the whole organization. So, you can describe it how you want, type, choice. So we're going to call this admin. We're going to call this HR. We're going to call this marketing. We'll throw in sales just because to show you that you can add as many choices as you really want. And then default value, you can say, okay, well, most of the documents I'm creating are for admin, so that'll show up, but really, I only recommend doing that if everything within there is just going to be one of those choices, or if like 99% of the documents created with that are going to be in there. However, that does also lead you to potentially get lazy with it, which I also don't recommend. It's really up to your choice. So, right there, and as you can see, department shows up. So you can also organize it ascending. No. Because there is no department, you really can't sort it out. So then we're also going to add column, and we're going to do date and time.
Hi, good afternoon. This is good morning. This is Christian.
Hey, we'd like to ask that everyone mute themselves until a specific point in the webinar. We'll be doing a question and answer session at the end. And if you have any questions throughout that you're afraid you might forget, please put them in the chat, and I will come to those at the end of the webinar. So back to the demonstration. So right now we'll call this one expiration date because you are going to have some documents that expire. This is specifically if you're using HR, because generally you want to review if you're using a wiki site to store all of your HR policies and everything, you're going to want to, you're going to want to probably review those about once or twice a year, maybe a little more than that because things come up. But anyway, so we'll call this expiration. Date, time. You can use calculated value, or you can do today's date, select time and date, none. It's really up to you. So now that we've done that, we have columns. You can add more as you want. Really, we'll talk a bit later. We'll talk about tips that you can use for categorizing and everything. But just one thing to say is that you should definitely think about what you're doing before you build it out. Don't just add metadata to add metadata. Otherwise, you risk things getting confused, and it's a mess. So here's what we're going to want to do. We're going to build out a wiki page. And what this is going to be is this is going to be a template page. All right, we're going to call this Team Wiki Bravo Page Template. So create. Shouldn't take too long, yada yada. So there you go, right there. What the heck this is? Okay, cool. So here is what you're going to want to do. First thing, changes what? No. This is not at all what this should look like. I would like to apologize for this. What? Okay, this is fun. We are okay. No. So what we're going to want to do is we're going to go back. No. So we're going to go back to go back to here, and then we're going to want to. I apologize for this. I did things out of order. So what we're going to want to do is we're going to go back to site contents. Then we're going to go back to site pages. And then we're going to want to do new site page, not wiki page, even though I'll tell you might want to do that. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to go, for at least for the sake of this basic one, we're going to go team wiki template. So now that you've done that, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to add a specific web part to this. It's going to be the page properties web part. So what this does is it'll just, so now you want to click add properties. So add property by department and then expiration. So that right there, that'll just tell you everything you need to know about that. If you have specific metadata related to that, so it'll tell you, okay, this is a, you know, HR department. This is a, so click on that department. And then click here to make this a 1/3, add another web part. So if you're doing a text web part, do that right there. If you're not quite sure what web parts are, we did a webinar last month on how to use web parts and everything. If you'd like, I can send people a link to that at the end of the later today so that they can access that, watch that and everything. So now that that's done, you can be like, okay, that's the page. This is what we're doing. Publish. Now you can have multiple templates that you use. We recommend that you have multiple templates. That way everyone knows what they should be working from, just to have the templates in general. And then also just making sure that, you know, so if you have specific configurations that you're trying to do for specific information, you can just go to that template, pull it, use it, done. So now what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to do a new copy of this page. Now we're going to call this vacation policy. So properties, we're going to call this, one second. So I don't know about go, yep, nope, go here, go into page details, HR, expiration. Can everyone please keep themselves muted for the duration of the webinar?
You're not calling him. It makes him feel insecure. I had to go in and
Charles, can I ask that you mute your mic? Yeah, thank you.
Okay, no problem. Sorry about that.
Nope, you're all good. So yep, so you can set an expiration date for this specifically if you're doing this for HR. We'll set this for December 31st, 2020. And let's go. So you'll see that's actually displaying right there. And then you can type that out. So, you know, hey, these are paid time off, format that how you want. So, you know, that, normal text, heading 1, yada, yada. After you're done with that, publish the page, it's good to go. And it's actually going to, if we go back into site contents, it will actually show up within the site pages. So you'll see right there, page template, vacation policy, and then you can sort by department and everything. Okay, so ascending, so HR, because that's the only one that actually has a tag to it. So then what we're going to want to do to really finish this off is we're going to customize the hub page for this team site. So click edit right here. Do note that you have to have editing privileges in order to customize the team site itself. So you have to be an owner of the site. So the way we're going to do this is we're going to get rid of this news app and we're going to add a new web part, and it's going to be for document library. And we're just going to pick site pages, and you'll see right there, got it. And then what we're going to want to do is we're just going to change this to wiki pages. And then right there, you can see recent activities. And then we're going to get rid of this documents one. And then what you're going to, and then so right here, we recommend using quick links. So these are links out to the most important parts of the library. So for example, say you want to put a link out to the employee handbook, you know, sticking with the HR policy one. So you have a link out to the employee handbook, you have a link out to the vacation policy, time off policy, you have a link out to, you know, behavior policies, dress code, that sort of thing. You can put these links right here so that people can have access to the specific documents that they're looking for right off the bat. So republish this. You've got a basic wiki right here. You can so you can sort it by, you know, department. So descending, sort it by expiration. If you want to search for something, you can just search for something up here in the search bar. So we'll look for vacation policy. So it'll show up right there. Yep, vacation policy. You can search for it. It'll open the page. You're good to go. Now what we're going to want to do is we're going to take this, we're going to copy this, and we're going to go back to our home page, because if you're wanting to integrate this into your intranet, what you want to do is, if you're a site owner, just go into here, click right here, called link. So, yep, there we go, Team Site Bravo, Wiki Bravo. Save that, and it should update the page. You click on that, and it takes you to Team Wiki Bravo. Now you can do this. You can have a wiki set up for all of your departments, so individual ones for individual departments, or you can do multiple ones for, or you can just have one central one and organize that. So that's how you build a basic wiki within SharePoint Online. So we're going to exit out of here and go back to here, make sure that we are sharing the right screen. Yeah, we are. Okay. So with that said, we're going to move on to some tips that you can use for building a SharePoint wiki. First of all, pay attention to content hierarchy. This is something that I have been alluding to, but it's essentially make sure that everything is organized, and make sure that everything is organized in a way that people can understand. So don't just throw content into the wiki without having that metadata in place, which crosses over with making sure that you're using effective categories and tags. But essentially with content hierarchy, the way we really recommend doing it is, if you're going to have one singular wiki for all of for your whole company, as opposed to multiple department wikis, make sure you're organizing it the way that we showed you earlier in the example, where people can just where there's different views for different departments. People click to those, and then they can see all of the documents for those departments. Generally keep the hierarchy simple, that way people don't have to navigate through too much of it. However, we really recommend using individual wikis for individual departments. That way you can organize things not just by department, but by you know, what topic it is, when it expires, you know, what needs to be reviewed and what doesn't need to be reviewed, that sort of thing. In terms of effective categories and tags, don't let people create new metadata. Once you've established a metadata scheme, once you've built what you're looking for, once you know what tags you're using, don't let people create new ones. Otherwise, you end up with a situation where everything is spread out across multiple things. No one knows how to look for anything, and it's a mess. And at that point in time, you either have to delete everything and start over, or restore everything back to the way it was before people started messing with it. One thing that we really recommend is cleaning out.
All I want to do is remove those charges there, because every time, I mean, I have this, I have had issues when I call to remove something and then I make a change, they never remove the charges. So I just want to remove that from there, and after that, I'll see if I make any changes.
Can you make sure to hold that question until the very end, so that we can make sure that so we can finish out the presentation? But Christian, I will get back to you on that. So in terms of effective categories and tags, Sir, can I ask that you?
I don't really want to make any changes because to put that internet there, it was really like a month of people going there, not going there, canceling the appointment. So I just want to remove the extra charges.
Okay, we are going. Oh, sorry about that. Anyway, so what's so okay, we've dealt with that. Thank you guys very much for the tips. So anyway, back to effective categories and tagging. So basically, just make sure that you have a scheme planned out ahead of time so that everyone knows what they're supposed to be doing. Because otherwise, like I said, it's going to be a mess. Use cross-linking, big one. SharePoint allows you to use hyperlinks. I don't know if you know what those are. I'm going to explain them so that we all have the same definitions. So basically, so sometimes when you go to a website, you'll see a link that is blue and has an underline. What that is a hyperlink. It's text that has a link embedded into it or attached to it, whatever really helps you conceptualize that. Wikipedia uses these a lot, like I was saying earlier with the content dives, where you're going from site to site, page to page to page to page. For example, if you have a page that's talking exclusively about HR form 1-723, what you can do so that people have context is that you can just attach a link to hyperlink to that form. So, you know, anytime you have mention of HR form 1-723, there's a link, someone clicks to it, it opens up the page that actually has HR policy, 1-723. Pretty simple. It allows you to have that site unity. So you're not having to have multiple, you're going to have multiple tabs open, but you're not going to have to go searching through and looking through and, going through a whole wiki page being confused about what's going on. Oh, that is the wrong thing. Sorry about that. Build a table of contents. That's a big one. Just make sure everything is so that when people log into the site, they can see, okay, this is what I'm supposed to be looking at. It doesn't have to be a full table of contents. One thing that I was talking about with the quick links, just having those can be super important because it tells people where they need to be going. You can even do quick links out to, if you're doing an entire company-wide wiki, it can be quick links out to specific departments and then organized from there. Or you can do, if it's department-wide, quick links out to specific topics and then going from there. Really simple, really easy, allows people to know where they should be going and guides them. Finally, use search optimization. It's not just something for marketing. So if you're not aware of what search engine optimization is it's a lot of practices and techniques that are used to make Google bring up your content first. And it does rankings and everything. Well, SharePoint allows you to do something similar. However, you don't have to do as much. Basically, use when you're writing a page and you're making sure that you want it to be search optimized, just make sure you use a specific keyword over and over again. So again, going back to HR form 1-723, if it's the form related back to that, so if it's the actual page for that, make sure you include enough mentions of that so that it pings to SharePoint. This is the important part of the page. This is the keyword. This is what you should be focused on. Okay. Someone goes to search for that form, that's going to be the first page that shows up. Also, if you use heading hierarchy, so heading 1, heading 2, heading 3, and if you just have heading 1, HR form 1-723, that'll also indicate to SharePoint that that's the important part, and that's what should come up when people are looking for HR form 1-723. So, with that said, we're at the question and answer portion. So looking through chat. We have nothing in the chat. However, does anyone have any questions within the audience? Please note that if I cannot answer it now, I will make sure to get your name down so I can email you the response to the question after the webinar, after I've researched it. All right. So if no one has any questions, I'd like to thank you all for coming out today. If you are interested in learning more about SharePoint wiki sites, if you're interested in learning about specifically Doc Intranet and what we can do for you, feel free to schedule a free demo with Doc365. Our phone number is 904-309-9970. If you want to learn more, our email address is info@mydoc365.com. If you have any questions for me personally, my email is qrussell@mydoc365.com. I'd love to have a conversation with you. Anyone at our company would love to have a conversation with you about SharePoint Internet and what we can do for you. If there are no final questions, I think that's everything for today. Wait, there's a link to earlier presentation. Yes, so this is, so we are going to be doing multiple SharePoint basic series. This is going to be an ongoing series. I will, Paula, I will make sure to email you the link to the previous installment in our series on web parts, what we're going to be doing. Yes, and Latrice, I will also make sure to send that to you. And again, if you would like to also get a link to that, feel free to email me. Again, my email is qrussell@mydoc365.com. That's QRUSSELL@mydoc365.com. Paula Latrice, I will make sure to send you the link to the webinar. And if that's everything, I'd like to thank you all for coming out. I'm Quentin Russell. This has been MyDoc365. Renee, I will make sure to send that to you too. Again, this has been Quentin with MyDoc365. Thank you very much and have a great day.